Hello, hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between. Welcome to the VCT Game Changers EMEA Cash Cups. Myself and the wonderful Shiva joining me today for the series we have in head of single best of three, Focus versus Aura. But before we get into any of that, Shiva, how are you doing, boss?
I'm doing well, thank you, Dante. Thank you for introducing me. It's the first time we're casting together, so I'm so excited
Yeah.
for this. It's gonna be fun. I've been seeing our work around, kind of mingling in between tournaments. This is the first time we're gonna have it together, so I'm very eager and I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we got a decent game on our hands too. I know there's some favorites that are a lot more visible than others, but considering the fact that we're in the semi-finals of this tournament, it's safe to say, regardless of it, we're gonna be seeing some good stuff.
Oh, indeed we are. And again, Focus versus Aura. One team maybe needing a little bit more of an introduction, at least for anyone that's maybe coming over from predominantly Game Changers, that's introduction in the Cash Cup. Another team then that very much do not need the introduction. Aura, the ones that do kind of chill up on just the Cash Cups here, looking to make a name for themselves. But to do that, going against Focus, a team very, very confident. And we've already got the map select here. So Shiv, if you want to run through the beautiful people, because we had some predictions as well.
This is definitely not what I expected, and I'm sure our producers are like kind of cackling in the background as we are seeing this. So our guesses was one team was going to pick the safe Lotus pick, Haven was going to be the cider, and we were going to see Fracture picked by Focus or Breeze picked by Aura. But no, it's completely off the water. It's going to be Ascent and Pearl. And you, Dante, actually made a correct call here with Focus picking that Ascent. You said that was going to be kind of one of those later on options as an experiment, as more of a learning phase alongside just that general team-wide cohesion, going to benefit a lot with this team on this map. And Pearl being picked by Aura is pleasantly surprising, I have to say.
As much as everyone does say Pearl doesn't have a B site, which sometimes is true, sometimes can be arguable. I do think it is a fantastic map, and I think it is a lot more complicated than that. But that is looking a little bit into the future. Of course, first of all, we have to start with Ascent, but we don't have to say much about Ascent because it hasn't changed in the 6 years that the game has existed. It's going to have a little bit of a change up, of course. Neon has had her legs taken out from under her, much like Yoru did last patch. So we probably will not be seeing as much of the Neon Yorus. However, I say that one of the teams, particularly Aura, do like to still have that Neon Yoru specialist. She has still been running it through the entire series of the Cash Cup thus far and doing an incredibly, incredibly solid job. So just because the meta changes up doesn't necessarily mean the team have to.
As I was going to say here, with Focus Sakura, they have a team that have been around for a general quite a bit. And they're very consistent members here at the Cash Cup. They've been very frequent competitors at a very decent level and making it quite far in this tournament as well. Although they may not be as successful in the leagues at EMEA Challengers or EMEA in general with Stage 1, it doesn't really change the fact that these teams are still very threatening in the tournament like this, where Aura aren't even in that league just yet, despite being very close competitors for sure. For Aura, though, they do have a couple members that are noteworthy here. Obviously, Tara, who is their main specialized Yoru Neon player. I can't imagine the stress for a player like her when she has such a great knack for these two agents, only for them both to be completely shot in an alley and mostly useless to everybody else. She's still been able to find value, though, in spite of that, because we are on the live patch here. We're not on VCT Stage 1 patches where Neon is still the most broken hero agent in the game. Doesn't change that at all. Neon is still going to be played most likely by Tara, assuming that Pearl or Lotus open up for it. If not, we could still definitely see that Yoru. Pearl is an excellent map for the Yoru, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that played out at all.
No, definitely not. This is the nice aspect about where we are with a lot of the agents getting kind of taken out behind the woodshed, as you so wonderfully said that we are going to go through. We get to look at the agent select, and here we are. There she is. It's not with the same tagline, but that is Tara as Loser Girl on the Neon. She will not go down until someone takes her down. And the fact that we're going to see on Ascent, despite the fact it's been away for so long, the compositions not varied that much, all things considered. Shiva, it looks like a pretty confident blast from the past for the most part.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice to see Ascent back. I think there have been some changes here. Generally speaking, a lot of the Ascent meta centers around that double initiator, and due to that initiator nerf, it varied a lot. There's a lot of volatility with the compositions on this map, but there are still some very key staples that really never change no matter how much you run it. You're always going to be seeing that Server. You're always going to be seeing this Omen and Cypher as well, being almost a duality agent with the Killjoy, either one or the other. We've seen a couple rare variations of the Vice being thrown in, but that's more targeted towards the heavy mid control and just general map wide momentum slowing, which I'm surprised not being here to counteract Tara, maybe from Focus Sakura to adapt to, but no, they're keeping Nico on this Cypher and the Phoenix coming in as well from Focus Sakura. One of the popular things that this team likes to run is that double duelist, and Phoenix being a lot more apparent recently.
It turns out having essentially a 6v5 every 2 rounds, if you're playing the ult economy and you're playing the ult orbs right, is a terrifying prospect to go against. It's not completely unbeatable, but it's very, very powerful. A lot of teams were already starting to pick up Phoenix whenever we basically had the idea something was going to happen to Neon. And yes, okay, very quickly have to point out that while Neon is the big thing, shotguns have also just seen a massive nerf. So the entries onto like the tighter chokeholds, you know, the A main and the B main, that is just necessarily an arch. You're not going to be seeing the shotguns as cozied up there anymore. The judges and the buckies, I'm sure they will still come out just to prove me wrong now that I've mentioned this. But for the most part, we should see a little bit less of. And if anything, that makes me really interested to see Giuliano for Aura and Star on the Jet, because your movement agents, they usually did support with the shotguns and the big kind of flashy plays. If the shotguns are weaker, your movement has to be stronger and the mechanics have to back it up.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely a different vision for how these teams are going to engage. I think Focus are going to be dealing with a lot of shenanigans from Aura when it comes to rotations and a lot of varying states of control. I think when you have to also note is that the reason why Neon was such a colossal pain in the backside wasn't actually because of her base speed in general. It was her movement scaling with her jumping and b-hopping around. That was what made her a pain. Loser Girl or Tara is still going to be able to do a lot of really scary stuff with long-term rotations because her base speed while running stationary on the ground, just straight running, is still the same. That's not changed. So that is still going to be a big prevalent point. It's just going to be that Tara's not going to be able to be as obnoxious going into fights and engaging things on her own. There's still going to be a lot of map presence that she's going to be able to control. And that's going to be contrarian for Focus Sakura, where they're not going to have as much map-wide movement, but still having a generally stronger spear point of control, especially with Phoenix coming in, having that wall to block off a strong sight line with much more versatility than the fast lane that Neon would usually run. You can curve it, you can target specific areas to really help you back it up. And of course, the flashes as well. The curveballs can be really, really scary on a map as close as Ascent on some of these parts of the map. And so I'm really curious on how this is going to switch around, because I think there's a lot of variation of styles that both these teams can run with these different agents. I'm really curious.
There's really only one way to find out, is in game. One last thing, just again, because we might as well talk about Neon now and get all of our paragraphs and our monologues out, because after this, we're not going to be hearing about her probably for a little bit. The strength of Neon as well is like the jumping and the dashing around. Fast lane was such a strong thing to have with an agent that also could do that had the movement as well. The duelists typically either have really strong movement or the capacity to kind of cut off an angle. You look at Phoenix, he has a big wall and then the flashes. Reyes has her satchels because of the movement. Neon did have both, and both of them were very overtuned. Both of them were knocked into high gear, if you do pardon the pun. And we'll see now if we're going to be mixing up. We're going to say Loser Girl or Tara. Please bear with us. Just it's difficult to not just say the name on the screen. But it'll be interesting to see Tara play with a bit more deliberation, essentially a bit more consequences behind the actions, right? Because Neon used to be able to do whatever she wanted and didn't get punished. It's why Tejo had to get changed up so heavily. Why, a lot of movement-based abilities did get changed up, but we don't have to change up much further. Pistol round begins.
Yeah, I think this is what's going to make me really curious about how the dynamic's going to be changing with this Neon, because sure, we are going to be seeing things that we come to expect, considering people are so well adjusted to the Neon control that she's used to doing. But I think Tara's going to be playing a much more of a scouting role in certain situations, where she's going to be able to use her speed to take a lot of early space and clear things to give massive information for her team to back things up. But without further ado, it's semifinals time. And who else but Focus and Aura to bring it in? Focus having a steamrolling run throughout this tournament so far, and Aura looked to be the first wall that seems to be against this unstoppable force that is Focus here, with a big mid push to start.
Oh, there's already Tara doing a little bit of that recon. She slides in, but Juliano and herself immediately both cleaned out there, and a little bit of a lurk from Needix, but not enough to actually get any information. Suddenly, the answer back, a big flank from Aura, very, very fast pace. Focus getting stuck on this mid-market, a hell of an angle to get stuck on, to face indecision. The Stars, she's still just lurking in the background. The shots are very, very clean. Luxie has able to get at least the trade 1-for-1, but now a 2 versus 1 with this door potentially shutting on the face of Luxie. As you see it slam down, 13 HP in a dream as Focus look to potentially seal the first one.
She's been tagged up a lot as well. Luxie's going to have to pull off some pretty crazy shenanigans. I think she's going to be able to expect somebody holding around this door area, but as Paranoia gets thrown out, Addy's going to be really able to clean out that easy to aim angle onto Luxie, and that's going to be round 1 from Focus.
Filthy right click, by the way. I know the classic hasn't been nerfed in some time, but that's a hell of a distance to try for the right click. And Addy, I mean, hey, fortune favors the bold, and you can already look at the ult economy. Star getting the Bladestorm already halfway up. Addy already a 1/6 of the way through again, especially now that the buy-up has happened. She's got the Vandal in hand. Keep an eye on that ult economy. It's going to be the make or break moment for Focus, and it will be their namesake.
It's a very even out split here from Aura. They're not choosing to go into a bit of a gamble stack. In fact, it looks like an attempt from Tara to maybe gain mid control, but I think she's hesitated here to back away. Even so, I mean, the weaponry won't really help much for it. She's more going to stick to that close quarters angle. Focus is definitely taking this slow. I think they're quite cautious of the potential stacking volatility, and they're using this util as info to help them scout this out. But even so, Focus are really buying their time with this, where both Star and Nico are sticking their guns out from B. But look at this push from Aura. They've almost colluded together, and now they're in trouble.
Oh, the timing here. No one's going to be close, but Mali accidentally... that takes away from that shot. Not accidentally. Beautiful pre-aim, but not the shot I think she intended to land. You were not expecting someone at that range, but a kill nonetheless from the Guardian. The head taken off, I believe, from Samsey all the way back on the market there. And very, very good stuff. Very clean patience from Focus here. Knowing that, yes, you do have the economy. You do have the advantage, but why would you rush onto a site just to give that away? Playing patient, playing the angles, finding your opposition is how you land flawlesses.
This is honestly a good idea. Well executed from Aura initially, right? But later on, you just got a bad stroke of luck with that pre-aim from Mali. It was a really satisfying shot, but I can imagine for Samsey, I'd be fuming at that situation, right? I guess when you're trying to juggle and just go for the pre-aim, like, she didn't even have the mental, the mental preparation to shoot. She just kind of shot out of panic and it landed across the site.
I do think her reaction time actually increased by the jump scare from Juliano. I actually think her reaction time increased from that jump scare.
We'll have to see if anything can get complemented here alongside it now that Aura finally have that superior weaponry. A lot of utility in hand. Look at Tara, I mean, still willingly trying to take these skirmishes, but Focus throwing plenty of warning shots to keep her cautious.
Already a 65.
That top mid smoke that just dissipated there from Aura is going to add a lot of fear for Focus. I think the drones instantly re-snuffed that out, and now a lot of control given back, I think.
Yeah, they have to focus that out. I mean, it's a good call because the minute the smoke comes up on mid, you start to worry, right? People are lurking behind it. You don't have the Killjoy alarm bot either, which is usually just a fantastic piece of utility just to put it down. But either way, Addy might be putting someone down here. She's playing off the run it back. She's immediately going to get dealt with, but the body is being held. No one's going to be able to get a free kill off of her. And instead, the trades are coming through, but they're lining up green. They're lighting up all green. Aura answering back very, very clean. Mali does manage to get that Guardian that worked out so well for her. Potentially a mistake to drop it down, but the Vandal is working. The Thief nearly in the night, but the blinds will get shot. Aura able to answer back.
Yeah, it was initially looking like to be a good idea from Focus, but I think Aura just made those small rotations really well, especially with that cross up from Cubby from top left. I mean, you could have had things very, very differently had the pre-aim or the information lock a little bit better. But considering they only confirmed the one in tree and not across from left Cubby there, made things much more difficult to Addy to fully clear and engage that space. I think even then it could have gone even worse for Focus if they wanted to. They could have had Samsi go way further out from mid to punish the Phoenix off the run it back. But it was smart caution. And at the end of the day, Tara and Giuliano together making things really work out for Aura. And now this bonus round coming through for them, they've got to convert it into a second round.
I already, round 3, and the run it back has already came through. Be ready for these A-main fights. Be ready for the B-main fights as well, because they're going to be coming up thick and fast to play off this ult economy. And to be fair, Aura very much surviving the first run it back, but there will be plenty more. If you look at the buy up here, Sumiruto trying to go for the judge. The greedy play! Tara trying to catch out Addy, but the double stack is very, very good from Mali and co to keep it alive, and a trade evens it up.
That's a tough gamble taken there from Tara. Very close. Just no cigar. Both of them side by side. Very difficult to transfer onto. No lineups, no nothing. Just have to go to one then the next. And fortunately, Focus are too quick of a team on the draw to let that happen. Although, Nico is traded out. I think that's going to force Focus to fully pivot into a single site engage here. Not a lot of ability to separate themselves now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Door soon to be closed. Sumiruto on the opposite side with the judge, though. She's looking to be audacious, but she won't land it. A little bit of damage done. Spike hesitant, but still about to be finished in the plant. And down it goes. A 4-on-4. Sumiruto now with that Vandal. It's up to Addy with first contact. Out comes the smoke. Things are raising a lot in that tension. We're waiting for that flood on the opposite side to come through. Out comes Giuliano. Gets one. Addy on the exchange off the trade, but she's flashed and she can't do a single thing. It's Addy with 3. Struggling to back it up. It's just Luxie. And soon to be a victim of the rest here. Addy with a 4-piece to give Focus that third.
Oh, and the ult's already back online. And the run it back is already good to go. Yeah, again. And Mali, surprisingly enough, actually, with the Hunter's Fury coming up from both Sovas as fast as it did, I would not have hated the idea of going for that preemptive Hunter's Fury onto the A main if you're Aura there, and, you know, posthumously a very proactive one from Focus just to try and get the site cleared out, but not necessary in the end. And one single curveball from Addy, and you basically scored an entire touchdown off of that single flash.
In a game like Val, one tiny play can make a massive ripple. That's exactly what you're thinking about here with Focus on Addy's Phoenix. One off of that run it back to, again, cause so much havoc. The strategy the Focus are going for really is paying off so far. Seems like Aura starting to gauge a bit of a decent read that they're going to be pivoting around towards this B side now that they found a lot of success on mid and A. But look at Star. This is crazy brave from Star. Not even the dash proc. That one's still active Star. It's crazy. I know it's an eco round, but serious bravery and ego needed to fully commit to those fights, and it's paying off pretty massively here. Although Tara will catch her off guard in the smoke, it seems like it's already done dusted here.
Potentially a little bit of an overheat, potentially a little bit of an overcommitment, but let's face it, you're not going to lose too much at the end of it. Star didn't even really go for the full buy-up, still at the Outlaw, so Bladestorm allowing to cheat the economy as always, and now it is just the hunt here, an attempted right-click to try and steal a gun away, as close to flawless really as you can get from Focus off the back of that round 4 of that 5th round. And yeah, I really have to reiterate how you said it, Shiva. That was a hell of a read, if not just straight confidence from Star.
Yeah, I mean, no tailwind proct, no noteworthy backup quick enough to respond to a cross like that. You have to give credit where credit's due there from Star. I know the rest of her team did eventually get back to help her out, but at the very beginning, it felt like Star was a little too deep. You were thinking, Star, what are we doing here? We've got an Outlaw on our hands, and we don't want to risk that, but not even a problem.
I like the fact she's brought it up again. I like the fact that she could have easily just went for the Vandal. The economy's there, but Star really wanting to, I guess, play the budget operator, right? And I mean, if you look towards Giuliano, I mean, she's running the operator without shields, so you've essentially got Star on a 50% off, half off operator in her hands there. So now the big factor, if they do meet, who's going to be able to pull the trigger first? And a defensive operator from Giuliano, yes, of course, the satchel movement, going to be good to get out of a tricky situation, but Focus If there's one thing you should know how to deal with an Ascent by now, it is the Operator.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why this map is so obscenely defender-sided by its iconic sense, it's that pressure that the Operator can bring. So much obscene space while having so much safe cover on this map just makes it such a brutal weapon to have in your hands. It seems like Star has actually switched off this Outlaw. And so now that we see that full Vandal attack, Juliana's op could be far more potent. But she is in a bit of the wrong place at the wrong time. But Focus still keeping this slow and calculated, waiting for the right chance, the right bit of info shred to influence their full decision. I think this time they might be walking into the wrong fight here. Oh, this is brave from Giuliano. You cannot be getting away with this, surely.
I
don't like that.
It's a maybe. Stralin.
No, they definitely
Stralin
know.
knows. They don't know, but they are very, very concerned, and they should be. Again, this Operator angle. Stralin does just have a help. Do they expect the second? They do. And the Hunter's Fury even going to get pulled off the back of it. Luxie trying to stop a push that isn't even coming. It's Tara meeting Star in on the mid. A decent bit of damage. Good adaptation, a good regression back on towards it. But meanwhile, an A site completely clear. An A site nearly free. Stralin in the heavens. Put down in towards the hells by Luxie. The curve wall, the Phoenix wall goes up. Everyone's just going to have to drop towards Generator, and Addy's just going to have to watch them do it. A Phoenix wall that's actually... It went against her, but the shots, the mechanics will certainly not go against her. She finds her shots, and she finds the fifth.
I can't believe it. Aura almost had it in the palm of their hands, but they caught themselves in a corner, almost serving themselves for free for Addy there. Even so, Addy could have had that utility to flush them out regardless. But she's just been lethal on this Phoenix so far, 9-1. And it being 5-1 here for Focus. I think the thing with that on the opening bit is that you hold the risk of getting droned out, but it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you overcommit to break the drone, if you willingly walk up into an open choke to break the drone to cover, the other side kind of knows they're hiding something, right? Overdrive now, not to be hidden at all, but Giuliano's nade! No! Punish! Even so, she's moved up and gotten two! Showstopper thrown out as well! It's crazy pandemonium on this A main section. But she's finally shut down in spite of losing 3 members here for Focus. Now, out comes the Neural Theft, and it's quick on the draw here for Focus. They want to quickly quarter out these members. Sumi's gone, and now Samsi is next up on the draw too. Addy with just 16 HP. She's also got that running back if Luxie manages to hit a lethal shot onto her teammate.
One enemy remaining.
And that's the case.
There it is. There it is.
Ooh,
but it's
Addy.
risky. It's risky. This is risky. If Luxie wins this, she gets the kill onto Addy anyway.
Oh, no.
She does have the time. She could drop, but it's too slow. She's giving her the gun back. She's taken too long. Luxie just not with the confidence off the back of that first kill. She just had to make it double.
In all that panic, gotta be the quicker thinker, and I think Addy knew exactly what she's doing when popping out that run it back.
Yep.
Again, such insane chaos. Well use of that overdrive there from Tara, and that double surge from Giuliano to join in on top as well to catch Focus completely off guard. Definitely worked. Had the nade maybe not taken her down from the outset, but even so, getting 2 with that Sheriff is great. I don't blame her for using that show-stopping quick response either. That quick wit is partly what gets them those kills. But already it's rapid again from Aura. They're not shutting down this pace.
Oh, to be fair, that's off the back of a confident Stralin believing she would not get cleared out. And I do like the composure. I do like the confidence, but a closeout is exactly what will happen. Focus now needing to turn their attention towards the mid. The Aldrone trying to scout out as much as possible. Curveball from Addy to try and get onto Giuliano. The corner is going to get cleared. The trades are decent. Luxie now able to at least get one, but Tara not getting the angle in off of Tree. And we're going to go back to a stalemate.
Sumi breaking those trips might have given away a lot of info for Focus now. They're very certain that there's going to be one very far away up in A. And it's going to be forcing Sumi to pop this from the shadows if they want something! But it's Samsi to be like, you know what? I got you, girlie. I got those 2. And now it's up to Star alone. And all Samsi has to do is wait patiently for a teammate to come over up through market. Paranoia still in hand as well. That's two-piece. It's going
Oh.
to save them. Star as well. Not too fleet on the footwork.
Player standing.
Still,
Mechanics, though. Does she
Surely
get it?
not.
Oh! Surely not, indeed. Sumi very quickly with that. Star surviving the paranoia was a big deal, but unfortunately, again, surviving utility is only half the battle, and this is a battle that Aura win.
it was well played from Sumi. I feel like Samsi put herself very at risk there of committing to that swing when the paranoia was still being procced out from Sumi. That's a small little bit of micro play that could have backfired horribly had simply the other player aimed a little sharper on Sumi, right?
Yeah.
So those are the small things you got to spot out for Aura to fix things up. Even so, still, individually, they're making a lot of good moments. Samsi with that two-piece to seriously save their skin. Had that not happened, I highly doubt they would have locked down the round there.
I have to agree with you, and I don't think we would have been seeing this timeout from FOKUS either. Aura, if anyone has missed it as well, one timeout apiece already used. I think we did see it earlier that it did pop up a second one, but as you can see from the graphic, they do still have one in the chamber and loaded up. So potentially in this half, if they so wish, you usually try and keep it for one apiece. And with the compositions being so similar, you're not really looking at you're not stacking to try and win, you know, one half over the other, particularly attack or defense. Sometimes you see the triple sentinel comps, and if you basically get 2 or 3 rounds on attack, you just walk away with a victory on defense. Team's not really going for that, so no surprises here that despite a commanding 4-round lead, FOKUS take the timeout.
I think the big thing for FOKUS here is to keep reminding themselves of what's getting them those wins and that strong proactive play. Still, in spite of being the clear dominant team at the moment, is to keep that awareness high. Those things of certainty where they almost feel too confident to not be as cautious is partly what led them to lose these last rounds here.
Immediate engagement, of course, towards the A main, playing around the A orbs, but look at what this means. It means a complete capitalization, execution, crunch onto the B site. Hunter's Fury as well, but the corner angle,
No,
the
Luxie.
the lever, no way, Luxie. She's not able to get all the value in the world, though. Trade for trade. Mali with the Hunter's Fury doing a good job at keeping the control here, and the site is covered. This corner, though, is still under control. Luxie might just give the other a little smooch, and surely she cannot live. It's Sumi to go first, though, and Mali on the lurk in towards B main. That angle can't be held for much longer. There's too many spots now. A reload will seal the deal and sign the end of Giuliano's life.
Well, proactive done there from Star. Almost being very conscious of that big spray from Giuliano beforehand to clear out that next kill. Even so, such a chaotic moment there. Luxie had such a great spot. And unfortunately, she had more numbers there. She could have had her teammates fully collapse into that, but sadly off the screen, and one went down and the other went down fighting on site. And so it made things so much more difficult for Luxie. It felt like she was playing a bit of a horror game. Trying to find her way through these mazes of players and gunfire. Even so.
Jump scare.
Yeah.
Jump scare as well.
Oh,
Speaking
even
of jump
so.
scare.
Oh, what a quick scope from Star. And she's whipped out the Blade Storm as well. She's got no mercy going into this. 3 for herself, guaranteeing the site here for FOKUS. It's so quick, it's so rapid. FOKUS still needs some time to wrap around, and that is Star's job to fully cleave. And so with Samsi left alone,
We're going for the ace. We're
and he's
going
trying
for
to
the
play
ace.
with the food. It's
Run,
Star
Star.
with the 5th, and that's the ace.
Oh, look, literally the shining beacon for FOKUS off the back of that. That may be the most, and I do mean this sincerely, one of the most 1v9 rounds I have ever seen. Now, no one from FOKUS got in Star's way, but that was her putting everyone on her back, including Addy, by the way. She's now caught up to her compatriot in that 14-4 scoreline. She wants to make a statement of her own.
Oh, they're clearly happy to be seen as equals. Addy donating the ace for her Jet teammate. Gotta give kudos to that. With it being a Nico round 2, obviously stakes not the highest, but still impressive nonetheless to almost see Star cosplaying as a FaZe Clan intervention sniper back in MW2. Seeing those quick scopes on the Outlaw. But now as the tempo shifts and the stakes increase with this financial gain for Aura, really desperate for them now to get around on the board. You know, 8-4 difference can really help, but on a map like Ascent, you're already big time on a deficit here.
Oh, especially if you walk in with your knives out, especially if Stralin on the lurk. Oh, Focus are just playing this so patiently, waiting until Aura get cold feet, and then punishing, executing accordingly, and Luxie trying
Dear, oh
to
dear.
just go for a fight, stands against the firing line, and really cannot go against the 1v4. Addy's head, though, poking out just a little bit more, in the timing here from Tara is absolutely clean, so despite the fact Focus had such a good start to the round, Aura in the mid-round, the IGL comes through.
I think Aura still may need to maintain control of that B main spot. I don't know if that orb was fully taken. And Samsi, like you said, cold feet, definitely the case here. Really hoping that she can maintain some sort of angle or gain a bit of info, but she's kind of slowly lurking out. I'm assuming that they're going to be grouped together. Focus loving this pattern of consistently tripling up, doubling up, even quadrupling up from time to time. It's up to Tara to make the pace her own. Out comes that relay bolt, but sadly no joy. And she's going to be instantly snuffed out from Star, and that's 9-2 for Focus. This is looking incredibly dominant now.
Look, when I say this statement, and I want everyone to understand the way that Kari's pre-nerf Neon wasn't going to win that. That's how big a deal. That's how tough a task that was, is even with the bunny hops, even with the mad movement skill, and of course that no longer exists, just a touch too far. And it's really just a game of fundamentals here. Patience, seeing who gives up the space first, and I do have to say, Aura are getting that feet colder a little bit faster than Focus.
I mean, that's the big impact with the Neon, is that she's gone from a killing machine, bee-hopping anime protagonist to just a normal agent who can just run fast when she doesn't have a gun out, you know? It makes things so much more restrictive here for Tara, and although she can still make use of the same speed, she can't nearly find the use that she's so known for on this agent. I'm not sure what else you can do when you're Tara, when you're so limited and unable to really be the force to be reckoned with that your agent is so used to doing. Even so brave her to willingly still pick this agent. Sadly, just not enough value to be found. It's up to Giuliano and the rest of her crew to try and make things happen. And that attempt of the Showzor from Giuliano almost finds some madness, but unfortunately, Addy stuff her out quickly. And so Luxie gives away a position. Star outside of CT to get another, but it's back and forth, still in favor of Focus. But with Luxie so vulnerable on the B site, it's only a matter of time. And now it's up to Samsi to pull up the surgical work with this Guardian.
45 seconds and counting now. If she finds the angle here, though, to be fair, this entire sidewalk path is not being cleared, is not being held at all. They're both holding the same angle. They're both holding the same angle, Shiva.
But you can't see it.
It's perfect. But the information's not going to be given the Guardian shot to try and cover the drop. But either way, it's Samsi, the one to fall. And a 10-2 for Focus on a Scent attack is a statement. We'll see if Aura can answer back.
It was a good double hold there from Focus, I have to say. It being pretty fairly, knowing that if you go on that left side area, you are going to be forced to give away a location. So you know what? Why not just not be visible from that side? Double hold one side and guarantee the info off that next drop, and then you can swing together however you want. That's the luxury of being in a 2 versus 1. If it was a 3 versus 2, things would be 10 times more stressful for Focus, but not the case. And that so brings them double digits in this first half. It's going to be very hard for Aura to bring this back. But considering they have that Neon on Tara on this attack, you got to have high hopes for this to really be the turning point.
The thing is, Neon, the relay bolt is still a disgustingly powerful piece of utility, but the recon dart might be better, actually. Star, though, just given all that mid space, walks up a triple stack onto market just to kill any lurk, and that's exactly what she's worked with to get a free sight, or at least, though, have taken this. They've gotten full clear. Make sure they've got all of the positions here for the post plant to come through.
They've made quite the call that Giuliano isn't around. They assume that Samsi being picked, that's the only lurker, so they've gone full sending onto this B side. So Giuliano has a big opportunity here to nail down this flank. I don't think Nico's going to be fully conscious of this. They haven't thought about scouting out this Raze utility. And although
she's still keeping an eye.
Nico paranoid, he's not been fully marked. This could be very dangerous for Focus here. There's the drone. And this is where Giuliano comes up with the strike. That paint shot's going to be huge as well. Mali's going to be signaling out to force to peek herself from main. And there she goes. She's vulnerable. It's up to Nico and Luxie with so little time left. She's got so much at her disposal to win this round. She'll be battered and bruised, but she'll win the round for her team.
no real love lost. Dying to the spike as well. Saving a classic onto the pistol round. Not really something you need to do. So, very nice work from Aura there. A triple stack from Focus on towards the mid. It was a nice little spot just to give Star that additional backup. But you leave the rest of the sites open. You leave the actual objective of the game open. And Aura will punish.
I think this was just purely thanks to Giuliano almost being a little slower on the rotation with Samsi. Having Samsi give away a location out from mid to have Star take her down, but not spot Giuliano, and just instantly go into that rotation call onto A, sorry. It's usually the correct way to do it. It's textbook. If you see your lurker on the opposite side gone, you know whichever side they're on, it's the other side that the rest of the team's going, right? So, so unhesitant in that. And so what was unconventional there from Aura ended up paying off pretty well.
It was nice. It was very, very... it's a testament to the IGL. You see an aggressive push to that level when you know as Aura that you're not contesting mid. You have to imagine that the backup is there, that Star is no way with such a round differential going into mid and just standing on her own. So knowing that ahead of time, or at least having that intuition to believe that the support should be there and the sites will be easier to aggress on. I mean, you highlighted it, that Giuliano really just wasn't even considered as a point for Focus just due to how much they had to get back onto the site. And, well, the spike ticked down. There was not enough time at the end of days, and it was what allowed Aura to get the third. But a lot more to do, a lot bigger of a mountain still to climb, but they have the funds to at least keep the ropes tight.
Yeah, this is Aura's big chance to bring up a snowball, maybe knock a bit of confidence off of Focus. Because so far, Star and Addy have been seriously off the charts with this. And we have to also mention as well, Focus have had a crazy dominant run in this tournament so far, not even having lost a single map in this tournament. And
They're
I mean, right now, they're looking to continue that streak, right? You have to, if you want a neutral battle, if you want things to be close and exciting, this one
don't play Ascent.
It's gonna be what matters. I mean, yeah, Ascent, bit of a rough one, right? But
it is a tough one.
With the tech pause being called, seems like one of our players have been onside of Aura, are struggling with audio currently. So we're just waiting for that to ease out.
Hopefully nothing too major, but we shall see in but a moment whether it is the case. And there we go. Just as we say, if there's one thing you need to do to get a tech pause finished, it's just highlight it and say that it might be fixed. And you know what? It's 50-50 either way. And speaking of a 50-50 here, Star is wanting to go for this push-up yet again. Not completely as deep usually, but still trying to get a peek on the Outlaw. Tara going for the jump spot, and very nearly. Jet walks away with a fresh fade.
Nice shaky trim there. Now, pivoting through for Aura. Aware of the presence here from Star, I mean, instantly going to be able to pivot from 2B with this Marshall. So I think Aura instantly thinking, hey, let's not mess with that. Let's go around to A, where you're gonna walk into 3 agents with a lot of terrifying utility for the retake, or even so, just for the site hold overall. You've got struggling with this paranoia, you've got shock darts and recons, you've got potentially a hot hands or a blaze coming out from Addy.
Oh, no recon. They're just walking in blind. They think they've got this. This could be a really big, scary moment, Shiba. The curveball comes through. No immediate kills. There we go. The first one online. Not expecting the pace. Not expecting the speed. Generator has already been taken over completely, and the delay in the recon dart does allow the attempted regress from Focus to get pushed back just that little bit further. 2v3 with the Marshall is possible. Attempted blind Cypher dart through the smoke. The dark cover does not find anyone, and Luxie with the timing does find Vico. Now 1v3. The Marshall is a one-tap for basically everyone here, but Giuliano is going to make sure that no bullets are discharged.
It was a close call. Star with this Marshall could have done a lot of work, but I think there's good use of utility there from Aura to smoke her off for a good while. Put up a lot of pressure over the rest of her team to back it up. And it seems like the trap play from Focus almost massively paid off. They had a lot of util thrown around, and initially the first 2 picks were on the side of Focus, but as the rest of the reinforcements came in with those Spectres riding through like they're Rambo, they managed to finish the job well. And so it's 10-4 here. And this is the bonus round that Aura really would dream of converting fully. They've even managed to keep Sumirito's Outlaw here as well. And Tara with a Vandal on her hands as well.
The economy's looking solid. The economy's looking very, very solid. It's not ideal. It is going to, of course, still be a weaker compared to Focuses, but even still, while I do say that, look at all of this control here that Aura have gathered. Yes, okay, the EMEA is going to be left alone. Focus are committed to this push just to try and steal the ult, or potentially even just get the PS up. We shall see which decision is being made, but Giuliano, the lurk mistress herself, the Cypher trip has been figured out, does get shot out, but she's very, very fast. It's trying to get cleared out. The double stack not going to be enough. The Outlaw, 2 bullets means a very fast reload, and the attempted flying. What? Tara trying to recapitalize off the speed, the pace, but look, it's not enough right there. And suddenly the attackers in Aura, they have to re-clear Amy, and they're going to go for this fight. And the spike not being planted means that Focus know they have time to work with.
You had a really valiant attempt there from Aura to go on the aggression there, but Tara, her agent, was not the great shining star that she used to be. She can't just run it up anymore. She just gets instantly decapitated by Addy on that Phantom. And so now, Aura in a bit of a desperate situation. They're running up, trying to get the spam through, but Mali counter-spamming equally. And so that's the 11th round for Focus. And this might look to be the beginning of the end, because they do have that running back for the retake as well.
I will say, Giuliano, I mean, the moments for the showstopper have been, I much prefer seeing, by the way, because Giuliano has had a bit of a rough rate converting the showstoppers into frags, but I do prefer seeing this to holding it for 6 rounds and not seeing any value. I do prefer the moment of just trying to go for that clutch Hail Mary, because if you're allowed to pull the trigger on a showstopper in some of these engagements, it is an absolute hellish scenario to deal with. So one off of it is a consideration going into the 16.
Yeah, I think Aura have been honestly pleasantly refreshing to watch when it comes to their agency. They're very willing to fully do what they think is right individually. And almost it feels like Star is like one of them, but just on a stronger team, right? She's almost the counterforce to that by being equally strong. But look at Addy on this run it back. So quick and easy for her. Even if she gets traded off by Tara. Tara will actually make things a bit scarier than I thought she would be. I was going to say, with that running back gone, it's not going to cause any stakes lost here for Focus, but Tara does actually get an additional one onto Star, which is the big shooter of this map. With it being a numbers deficit here for Aura. Pressure is on.
And it's this lurk here from Tara, still trying to force Focus to keep their perspective, keep their attention on towards B site, but we've got the lurks here, we've got the control to set up to a piece as the dark cover pops. The head is going to show Addy. Very clean. This is the thing. You compliment Star, Addy will hear you and take her position right at the top of the kill feed. You compliment Addy, Star's going to take her rightful position at the top of the kill feed. It almost feels like they are just playing this tug of war off of who has had a more dominant performance and who needs to one up the other. And as long as we keep it polite and, you know, as long as there's sportsmanship, which we do know there is, Tara trying to get what she can. A couple of consolation kills. She has the speed. She can get the spike if she does try and recover it. 7 seconds. It's taken away. She won't have time now. If she keeps missing the spike, she can. And unfortunately, it means she's got to run away and save it. Had she ran, it would have been rough. It would not have been an easy sight in any way to hold. But with the movement that Neon still has, Tara, I think, had exactly enough time to get behind Generator and go for an attempted stick.
Bless her. She had no idea. She wouldn't have known that they were running out round main. I was almost thinking Focus are sitting here with a surprised Pikachu face being like, wow, isn't the consequences of my actions? Both are just running out without a single care in the world and almost getting massively punished. And that, although it's 12-4, that's given Tara a pretty close click to their overdrive, as long as I look sees very solid Hunter's Fury. But I think bigger fear factor here is Star on this operator.
Here we go, Giuliano. Can she find the value this time? I mean, to be fair, a clear sight is value enough, and if it has forced focus around that, then that is something. But the attempted regress here, it's a good first frag from Luxie. The curveball not allowing Addy to get too much value in. Able to go 1-for-1, but that's not going to be enough here as Aura do get the spike planted down now. And a retake here from Star with the operator in hand is a tough call to ask. Save potentially could be on the cards, but you've got overtime guaranteed regardless one way or the other. So a 4 versus 2 here, and Aura should be making their mark for the 5th.
Star's one off that Blade Storm. Dante, I'm scared. If
Oh,
they
yeah?
if they greed a single angle for just a moment here, and they mess up
Well-
trading Star, this might be a big problem. But I don't think that's the case. Focus are going to keep this patient. Maybe
Yeah,
they
the
can grab
spike's
one.
already.
Standing.
Oh!
Oh,
Ah.
okay. Well, now that's Tara guaranteed to have that overdrive at the very least.
Oh, and maybe Focus
Ooh.
not guaranteed to have the operator. A very nice fight there from Aura. A very quick scale up on towards market and a good push there. Comms were clean. Cannot let the operator be kept by Focus. We've seen the damage that it's done. Giuliano wanting to run it again, but that Blade Storm, as you said, Shiba, not the clutch factor that it could have been for round 17, but Star doesn't have a purchase. We know what's about to happen.
Yeah, Blade Storm at her disposal. She's been crazy lethal with this ultimate. But you do have Tara with that counterforce. You've also got Hunter's Fury, and you've got Sumiruto's from the shadows as a big rotational source. You don't want to send us. Oh, no, Star. Please land this one dome. Oh, it's surgical from Star. She won't land the next one of Giuliano, but she's going to be running bleeding and bruised and very paranoid that the Jet is going to be chasing her tail. But even so, she's cautious, backing away. On the opposite side, though, look at Tara. Slide spray through the wall to take down Nico. And that's the Sentinel away of the ace sight, out of their hair. It's going to be a 4-on-4 with an operator in the hands of Giuliano and an overdrive popped out here from Tara. Oh, Tara, it's all on you. So much pressure applied, but it's just too clean. 3 pieces for her. She's playing Quake. She might get an ace, but not the case. Bars. Down goes Tara. It's up to Charlotte now in a 1v2.
With the information gathered, the jump spot to try and cover the distance, but Samarito and Luxie just stacked up too cleanly. 12 and 6. A lot of utility forced out though. The overdrive from Tara. I mean, the star of, I guess the Stara of Aura of the show, doing at least enough to get ourselves an equal scoreline at 17-17 just for herself. Very good compliment. Big shout out to the production. Fire rhyming from my co-caster, indeed. But we'll see if the bars are enough. Has it been set too high for Aura to clear? And another 6 rounds back to back here. They've done 2. So in theory, the hard part is over. No longer 8 rounds in a row to win. But Focus, this is their low buy. They could just try something sneaky, and a triple stack towards B is how they're going to try it.
Inferior economy here for Focus, and they're getting themselves grounded with a bit of a quick trap play. With this Hunter's Fury thrown out here from Luxie, it's very, very conscious here. Very intended to flush out this Sova, but look at Star, unchecked, but now that paranoia shuts her down. It's up to Mali and Lone now to anchor herself onto the site. Giuliano's above her through enemy lines, and they are completely unaware. Now spotted, 2 for Giuliano, but there's only so much they can do. It's a 1-on-3. Charlene, full utility still at her disposal with the smoke in hand too, but she's too quick on the swing, and that's Aura getting 7. Am I sniffing a comeback here, Dante?
Hey, they only need to do 5 in a row. This is what I do. Everyone get in the chat, get ready. I don't want to get the hopes up too soon, but 3 rounds ago, Aura had to win 8. Now they only have to win 5. So get those countdowns ready. They only need 5. This is the big one, though. If they can survive this, Focus will have likely committed the run it back, potentially the Hunter's Fury as well. So if Aura managed to play this round perfectly, get that utility out of Focus's hands, but still manage to convert the round, that is when the comeback truly begins, and then they will only need 4.
Tension's rising a lot here for Focus. Pressure starting to amount a lot. Focus usually, in their Game Changers League series, are very much underdogs, but seen now as one of the big bosses in this tournament. Almost given a return punch in the jaw from Aura. Really making things match up to their pace. And so with a slow ounce of control here, Giuliano with a lot of pressure up from mid. And that Boomer might give a lot of information. Naruto's almost giving herself away here. And that smoke's so well timed for Stralin. And that comes to run it back here for Addy.
Can she make this work? Can she try it here? She gets the information a little bit. She's going to be very, very safe. The corpse is okay.
Oh, no!
Folk Stars just caught out. Stuck in a corner, looking the wrong way. Giuliano on the lurk on mid. Aura have maybe survived this here. The Hunter's Fury from Mali has been expended. Doesn't get the value that it really, really needs. Addy as well to run it back. Exactly what Aura needed to do. They potentially have done it. It's not all done yet. 4 versus 2. Is possible for Focus, but Mali already getting damaged up, trying to dodge the shock dart. The Sova. Luxie gonna be the one to walk away, and now the information, Vilko has been spotted out. She will be hunted down. Aura have won the hardest round of the comeback if they manage to take us to OT, and they only need 4 more.
Now things are getting very scary now. Once it hits around 12 to 8, 12 to 9, 4 rounds in a row, 1 for Aura, you can't help but be very scared. And or in fact, they're going to be going for a timeout here. I'm curious on what exactly is the idea. Oh, never mind. It's Focus. Okay. I was going to say, Aura looked like they were going to be that evil spy to be like, nah, now it's time to finish the job. But no, it's Focus this time, who I can imagine are shivering in their timbers quite a bit here. They see Tara with that big streak. They see the collective starting to build a lot. They see some really off-the-cuff strategies coming out from Aura, like Giuliano being the lurk around mid to add up to that pressure, and just such a fast strike going onto the site. Focus don't really know what to do, and so it's up to the coach and the IGL to come up with a solution here. And maybe, if I was in their spot, maybe playing off-site might be one of those options. What do you think, Dante?
I appreciate it, because that's basically, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think right now Focus do need to really, and apologies for the pun, but they do have to focus on the retake potentially a little bit more here. They are really struggling to fully have the resources available to do it, whether it's, to be honest, to Aura, playing without the utility in some regards, right? There's been at least 2 times where they've gotten a decent way into the site where you would typically expect the sonar dart to come through that would give Focus the information, let them know that they should be ready for a sudden burst of speed, a sudden attack from Aura. But Aura are not using the recon darts, and Focus do seem to find themselves getting caught by surprise on the defense, just not keeping those angles safe and tightly held. And I think a best example of that was Giuliano all the way up on Heaven in the previous round, where basically no one from Aura was expecting her.
Star now breaking away and eliminating that Cypher utility. That's going to add quite a bit of stress and anxiety here for Aura. They know that the return is mounting, and out comes Addy with an opening forced fight. Flash comes out, another curveball to respond here. And Aura are making this very well avoided. They're doing great work at evading this pounce from Addy. No first blood drawn. And so Aura can return back with knowing that there's no flash utility out here from Addy. Focus almost being a bit too proactive here.
Potentially trying to play to their own pace, and Aura really reminding us of how Focus looked on the attack, playing on their own pace, playing their own setup here in Mali. Just doesn't get the timing. She doesn't get spotted out there. They're not going to have the information, but I think we're going to have a bit more wherewithal this time. Focus going to understand the utility not going to be as fast, or the pace certainly is going to match it. And Stralin just takes Giuliano out through the smoke. No concerns at all there. A really unfortunate first pick, but it's Tara just to sprint through. Addy, look behind you. She's already there. She's already in your walls in the shadows, and she's there again. Vilko's not ready. Meanwhile, the spike's being planted on B. The spike's been planted on B. The from the shadows is so solid. Aura have done everything to distract Focus, and they've done it. Their focus has been broken. No concentration from them.
This has to be a crazy gut punch coming in for Focus. Now Star has to pull off some crazy shenanigans and hope, no pun equally intended, the stars align. Gonna have to bless for that to happen. Luxie's so cautious and disciplined on this peak as well. Look at that swing. When Star gets no joy, she's going to switch it up, and Luxie pounces at just the right time. I mean, Tara, so good on this solo aggression. This is what I was talking about with Aura, having such amazing agency with themselves. Sumiruto instantly thinking, great, this is an amazing time to use the from the shadows to do it. And Tara just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to run out and catch out Addy. I cannot believe she got away with that. And at least there is some of that magic that the old Neon would be very proud of.
Looking down from above and realizing what could still be, and Tara, credit to her for making that work. This is finding gaps in Focus's defense, sprinting through EMEA to get in through Garden behind Addy. And it's not about how you start, it's how you finish these games. And right now there is no finish, there is no end in sight. It might not be all over for Aura yet. As we said, the hardest parts have arguably been done. It only gets easier here. And Focus have continued to use their ultimates. They've not stacked to try and play this attrition. And the slide! Tara on her own, finally! The hopes for Aura, they're not dashed yet. The smite can be retrieved, but that is your star player gone.
And you've got nothing here from Aura to capitalize off of this. Looksy a little bit too slow on the reswing. Just gets herself so quickly traded. It's a big backfiring of an attack here. I mean, a respectful reasoning for it, but just poorly executed. Now under all that pressure, Aura have to be a little extra proactive. They're going to go into a swing and they catch Addy, but Mali on the other side going to be able to trade equally to get 2. Now, it's up to Sumiruto, and she won't be able to do it. Star to finish the job, and that's going to be 13-9 for Focus.
You know what? I'm much more comfortable saying 13-9 than what we may have seen, what that map looked to be, what that map could have been. That looked like a 13, potentially 5, 13-6 at the nicest, but 13-9, it did take Aura a little bit of time, but that is a competitive first start. And going into Pearl, which is their map pick, but may I remind you, they could show some light here. We could very well be going the distance.
We'll have to wait and see, really, right? I mean, Focus looked so obscenely dominant at the beginning. They just couldn't adjust to this alternative strategy with the Neon Rays, right? I'm curious on how they're going to be able to adapt on Pearl, because there are going to be some alternatives on that map. Are we going to be seeing the Neon, or is Yoru going to be sticking back around here? And the question is on whether or not the Neon nerfs compared to the Yoru nerfs will be different. We'll have to wait and see, because I feel like the nerfs on Yoru are going to be much more scary on this Pearl map, because it's so much more fundamental, whereas Neon fundamentally can still provide a lot of value in spite of those movement nerfs. But even so, despite Aura's loss, look at that Tara scoreline. Even though 20-20, 289 ACS, pretty insane.
It's really, really solid. And I mean, we're kind of arguing Star and Addy. I actually would have liked to have done a prediction. Maybe should have said, who do we think does take the MVP? Because it really was a tug of war between the two of them. No disrespect to the rest of the Focus squad, doing absolute wonders to keep the team in it. But it really was in between Addy and Star, and Addy just taking out there that little bit more entry, that little bit more firepower. Star always seemed to have a little bit more, kind of picking up the pieces, where Addy was more than happy to just run it through and tear the map apart with her mechanics. So very nicely done. We might even see her run it back on Pearl. That pun was intended.
For sure. I mean, definitely. I would generally wouldn't be surprised to see Addy run back that Phoenix on the Pearl as well. An agent that, although being a little bit more niche, has definitely shown a lot more potency as of recent. And I think could definitely be very, very dangerous here for Focus to whip out. I mean, Star as well could very easily rerun that Jet too. Both these players able to fully utilize their best agents on this Pearl map coming up. Although it is Aura's pick, I'm very curious on how this will play out.
Running a Pearl against your opposition is going to be such an interesting show. We've already had one really interesting map, so why don't we all take a little break, players and everyone at home, get yourselves rehydrated, fed, watered, and we will see you just after that for potentially the last map. But I think Aura is going to have something to say about that. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back, everyone, to the GC Cash Cup. We're carrying on this semi-finals game, which was a very surprisingly pleasant series that we had on our hands, right? A comeback crazily close to being truly done from Aura, but sadly, Focus Sakura still keeping their names in check and winning their map pick at 13-9. Dante, what are you thinking? What are you thinking here? What do you think of Pearl coming up next?
First of all, very excited for Pearl. Very excited for Pearl, a map that I know a lot of teams and a lot of people do have their opinions on. I really do enjoy it to quite a high degree. And this is the thing, though. Focus now have to cement this map. If they can do it, quick look at the map, pick some bans for anyone that maybe missed it. But if you're only just joining us, first of all, hello. Second of all, go watch that first map. It was sick. And a big aspect here, if Focus can survive this, if they can take Aura on Pearl, Aura's own map pick, they will be flawless going into the grand finals. Not a single map dropped, and it's up to Aura to take it off of them.
Focus Sakura looking extremely dominant in this tournament compared to the last few times they've run it. Most dominant they've been for a while, if not for the first time period. And with Pearl coming in now, Aura being so high on that potential, showing so much exciting stuff with their Neon. Still, a foot in the grave, but not out of it just yet, clearly. Tara looking really solid on this agent, despite having a lot of things against her. We'll have to wait and see how that will adapt with Pearl. On Pearl, it's very different. Yoru is an incredibly powerful agent on this map. The big question is, I feel like the nerfs from Yoru have been far more impactful on Pearl compared to the Neon nerfs that you would see. Although Neon's playstyle has been shifted drastically, you can still find value on this agent. Whereas for Yoru, I feel like he's still got some flies around him in that alley back there. You know, like he's a little cooked still.
If anyone has seen this man, please report him to Riot HQ. He has been missing for some time. And if anyone does need a quick rundown on just why the Yoru nerfs were so impactful, his teleport, his gate crash, it used to basically last 30 odd to 45 seconds. It got cut to 15. So you can't really get to the point of, you put the gate crash on, let's just say A site, you hold B site, and then if it's an execute onto the site, if you get it wrong, doesn't matter. Yoru can just teleport over. You lose that capacity. So Neon can still, of course, speedily rotate, but she can't just shift dimensions. She's not going to be just as fast. And even though Tara, credit to her, she was playing Neon like a bat out of hell, we will see if that confidence comes through. And the one pick I would have said that I would not be surprised to see, Astra on Pearl, kind of near enough. Always the case, basically 100% pick rate, but the Vi is coming through from Samsey, I like to see.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pearl is going to have a lot of different agents going into this, right? You're going to be seeing potentially a lot more, again, frequent double duelists, but you're going to be seeing the Astra. You're going to be seeing potentially a lot more double controller. You could be seeing that Vice, as we see from Samsi locked in. A very, very strong agent on a map like this, even if that info flash has been taken away, which I still think robbed her. We deserve better. Vice players deserve better, I got to say. Even so, we were talking about it before we got into the break here. Phoenix and Jet can still really work out well on this map. And as you can see, it's already adding in style to be the first locks here of the map, with Phoenix and Jet still the same themes here. But we're seeing Astra hover from both sides, right? I'm very confident we'll be locked in.
Should be Astra. Just the global control that she does have is just very, very strong. It's going to be one of the strongest pieces of utility that Pearl will probably see. We might see whenever Mix, starts to people start to feel a little bit more comfortable running him. Maybe even the veto as well. We started to see teams, particularly up and towards the EMEA main rosters, and even over towards VCT China and such, teams trying to pick him up. Risky business. I'm not expecting it here. I think FOKUS are already basically tried and true. The composition has worked on a sense of why Fix wasn't broken. I do like the fact that it means the case that Aura do have a little bit more to work around, but it means the agent selection isn't going to be quite as obvious. Sakura don't really change up the agent playstyles from map to map, unless of course you swap out the Omen for the Astra, because of course you do. But Aura might be able to catch Sakura by a little bit of surprise here, just off the composition. And from the hover, I think they're going to try something sneaky, Shiba.
Yeah, I'm curious on what it's going to be. So just to note, I know that we can see on the edge of select that things are not just being picked right now. No, the players are not stalling. There is a little bit of a bug going on due to a connection that has messed up the graphics bit. So just to clarify here, you'll be seeing it very soon. But Tara is running back this Neon. We're still seeing the Neon off of Tara with no second duelist here for Aura GC. It's going to be the Sky Fade double initiator coming in instead. I am so intrigued by this comp. What do you think about this, Dante? Because for FOKUS Sakura, not much is going to be changed. And the only other outlier here is Luxie on this Cypher, which you can argue to be a bit of a base one when you know that Vice and Killjoy have a lot of decent value on this map. But still, it's going to instead be the Cypher from Luxie. Still, the solo Neon is really interesting to me. What do you think?
The solo Neon's a bit scary, but to be fair, if there's one person to do it, one of the things that I did actually say in the break room, a little peek behind the curtain, was I did think that Giuliano was struggling a little bit on the raise, just because with Neon being as more, I would say, team-oriented. A lot of the agents, whenever they get nerfed, they do kind of become a bit less individual and a bit more team-focused. Giuliano was struggling a little bit with that support on Raze. So swapping over to that Sky, to that second initiator who, and I know justice for the Vise mains, but Sky does give the information. She does give that little audio cue if she has flashed someone. So there is going to be a little bit more information regarding that, that they will have to work with. And we'll see if it does. If you need a full rundown, of course, because we've got the agent select. So it's Sumi on the Astra, we know that. Samsi on the Vise, and then Luxie on the Fade, Giuliano on the Sky, and of course Tara. Well, you already know what that's going to be. I don't need to say that. But what we might need to do is, just for the moment, seems like there is a little bit of a bug coming up with the connection as such. So we might be jumping into a little break. We're just waiting on a full confirmation. But as the agent select comes through, it looks like everything should be sorted.
Yeah, I think we are rerunning the same agents as well. I don't think they're actually allowed to change, because I do believe they actually saw the comps. So I think Star has to go Jet, even if she thinks she wants to stick on, go for the Whaler, which honestly, Whaler could make something work here, but I feel like Jet's going to be much stronger here alongside the Phoenix as well. So that's going to be sticking around here for both sides. Now Luxie finally locking that fade. So those are the comps now. You can visualize them a little bit more now. It's going to be that double initiator with the double duelist for FOKUS Sakura and the double initiator for Aura. I'm really curious on how the solo Neon's gonna fly, man. I think it's so much investment of utility on this Neon. When you know that the Neon is not nearly going to be as quick and volatile as it used to be, it raises some question marks, right?
It's definitely a concern, but I will say I do think Giuliano and Luxie, that Luxie in particular was already doing real good stuff on the Sova. The recon dart choices were solid. The Hunter's Fury, while okay, not the most valuable, again, the proactivity that we talked about from both of these teams, just to use the ultimates when you get them, because any value is better than it sitting in your back pocket for 3 to 4 rounds, and you lose the opportunity to even build up an additional ultimate. So I am very much excited to see how the Fade and Sky does play. Of course, starting on the defense as well. That double door angle, where usually a Killjoy or Cypher can get set up real comfortable, that's going to be an angle of attack that Focus, fittingly enough, are going to, I'd hope, focus themselves on, especially with that updraft dash and then focusing on the curveball. There's a lot of space you can clear out from double door, and it does make getting onto the B site a little bit easier for the Sakura squad.
Yeah, there's a lot of map control variation on both of these sides, but I definitely think there's a lot of sightline manipulation that Focus can make the most of, especially with this Phoenix intact. A lot of ability to just abuse those sight lines with the curveball and having that wall, that blaze to fully block things off. It's going to be really interesting on how that will back itself up. The run it back is obviously going to be the main pincer point for this team. Always abusing it like they did on Ascent. They're going to be looking to do that again here.
Even easier to do. It's even easier to do on Pearl, arguably, than it is on Ascent, because you really just need one smoke and you've got the B orb, and the A orb is pretty deep in towards the attacker side spawn. You do have to basically commit a push at the very least from Aura, or I imagine what we might see is Tara rushes in on her own and tries to steal a multi-kill. And hey, she was very, very fast on that. She was still damn good on the Neon, even without the bunny hopping. So I would say fear Tara. She may be the loser girl here, but she wants to add one W and take Focus's flawless away from them.
I was gonna say, I think this composition actually can make for a lot of anti orb control plays, right? You've got two initiators that can do a lot of stuff with that. A Neon Relay Bolt and a Sky Flash, and maybe a Fade Prowler deep into it could make a lot of chaos going into that and deny that orb control playstyle that Focus Soccer probably want to go into to make the most of that run it back, right? So there's a lot of counterplay with both of these sides. I'm really, really excited for how it will play off, really. I'm interested on how the Cypher will differ with this Vice and how much that Cypher is going to be able to deny the Neon as well. Considering the Sentinel nerfs have not kicked in yet, and Sentinel buffs, sorry, have not kicked in yet, and just the Neon nerf has still been around, Cypher still has not really been as powerful as you'd remember him being, but still having a good essence of info control as well. Having one of those cages help as well going into it. But regardless of that, after some tech issues we've had, we're now back into it with Pearl as our second map and potentially the last map of the series if Focus can lock it down. First blood drops on the hands of Aura as Nico falls.
That's a good lockdown. We may or may not be prophets. The B site push has already came through from Aura. They don't even need the setup play. Samzy and Tara are happy just to run it on their own. Look at all this control. The lurk up A main as well. This basically means that Aura are going to have Focus's number here. They've got a near enough empty site. And will Focus take the bait? Focus, they are egregious. They're going to go in towards the defender side spawn. They're going to try and get all of this space, all this control. The timing here from Stralen, this might be... That one kill there might be the big deal. Can she get a second one? The shots aren't the cleanest, but she manages to go 2 for 1, which is a massive, massive deal. And Focus, they've ran down so much of this timer here, Sheba, but there's still no spike planted. And Luxie to try and take Addy's head off. She's not ready for the close angle.
It's a labored pair of kills, and now the numbers advantage in the hands of Focus finally. Samzy in a very tough position now. Sumiruto really has to do a lot of work here. The Star gets beaten and bruised, tagged up, but still escapes. Just got still that control. It's a very split hold from all three members here of Focus, but the swing from Mali, nice and aggro, perfectly timed. Focus will drop the pistol and get it done.
Very, very good stuff from them. Similar vibes to Ascent thus far. Very clean aggression, very patient around that B site control as well, knowing what the most ominous phrase potentially ever uttered in human ears. It's quiet. Too quiet.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like that, right? Especially considering that Focus were able to get full control of mid-street into B. It does have an air of suspicion to them, right? And they definitely caught that off well, especially with Stralen hitting those 2 very critical kills.
I mean, wow. Tara's already in your spawn. She's already here.
Look at this. What are we doing here? How is Stralen so quick to mark that?
She hasn't
perfectly
moved.
Done.
She hasn't moved. Neither of them have moved. 2 Sentinels, essentially. Astra can function as that because of the control, and that lurk kill gives Focus the info, and they run with it absolutely to the bank. No concerns at all. And yeah, who better to get the plant down? Addy already halfway through the run it back onto here round 2. And Samarito over on this main angle on towards this mid side, trying to find anything she can, but the double setups are here, and she's walking into her grave.
Yeah, it's a flawless second round for Focus here. Not really much to add here. Aura trying to make that aggression work, but Strahlen just able to mark them again. Such a critical pick there as well on Tara. And so with that control locked down, that air of fear from the Neon taken away, there's a lot of room to just freely claim space over that site. Focus with 2 now. Aura with this 3rd buy. Very, very important round to win here for Aura if they don't want this to snowball out of control.
I hope they do not face down the same kind of start as Ascent, because Aura were able to bring themselves back. You know, again, it was potentially looking down to 12-4 and a 12-5, so they were able to keep their composure here, but having to do that twice back in a row. And Aura, they're playing this very aggressively. They want all of these set plays to gain all the space, but Focus, they know the time is on their side. They know they've got all of this patience to work with in the Blaze Wall just to potentially bait out the shear here, but Addy being sent off on her own just to clear that utility. Focus haven't really moved from their spawn in the first 40 seconds.
I'm slimmed down a little bit here. Focus almost tempered in their approach. They're very slow and steady and trying to find any kind of info to pounce through.
Take flight.
Instead, it's gonna be a drone, and out comes the flash. It's gonna find our own drone, and out comes the relay bolt from Tara to very quickly evade here. That pass lane as well is gonna fully conceal where she's gonna go, whether or not she's crossed. It's gonna be beyond Focus. They have found a little gap here to sneak through, but immediately that guiding light is going to fully reveal that at least one is going to be lurking in the shadows here, more than likely, more than one.
But meanwhile, it's still a fake, though. It's still a fake. Meanwhile, on the B site, you've got all this space covered. The haunt is good from Luxie. The spike, though, to tap. She's trying to hold it down. She's only good for 1. She does still have the backup, though. The star of the show. Not literally. It's a beautiful guiding light. Tara, that flick hurt my wrist. I don't understand how you don't go to the hospital after that, but either way, Samarito sent to the hospital. Tara sending one right back, though. Yeah, the mechanics are still clean from this Neon. You don't lose your mechanical skill just because the movement gets a little bit crippled. And now, because of that 3 versus 2 here, Tara's still trying to clear all of these angles, but the angles are awkward. A double swing is not going to be enough. Focus on the post plant set up so cleanly for the crossfire to make it 3.
Just too much to overwhelm, unfortunately. Tara with a really valiant attempt. Some really nice shots, but not enough. And that's going to be very, very dangerous here now for Aura. Focus now 3-0 up, looking to make it 4. 4-0 for both and Mally. Almost twins in the alliteration of their names, but in the rhyming of their names. But we have to now take into consideration how Aura are going to be able to play around this, because it feels like they're not being as proactive as we saw in that pistol round. It feels like any kind of proactivity has been shot back really well by a very patient and calculated Focus here.
Meanwhile, the attempted A push, the one that we did talk about to try and fight for the orbs, but Focus not actually as attentive towards it, not really paying that the same mind, realizing that Aura are already kind of conditioned to have to force it. So Strahlen on this lurk on the own. Juliano does get the trade, but yeah, as you said, Shiva potentially a little bit late. Immediate guiding light is going to be good. Does take down Vilko, but this is the thing. They run it back, the curveball. Beautiful shot from Luxie, but the trade is there. It's a 1 for none. A 1 and done, and the spike going to get comfortably set up. And yet again, deja vu, 3 versus 2 for Aura to try and break through.
And they're both so far away as well. There's so much more time to stall here from Focus.
1 enemy remaining.
And look at Addy just playing with her food at this point here. Star with Juliana with this outlaw. Naruto kind of knows the fate that she's in now. We're just essentially waiting for the inevitable to close in. There's Addy, the finishing blow, 4-0 here for Focus. There's a lot of spark taken away now here from Aura. It feels like they're just letting Focus fully take control of the pace here. And even when Aura want to do something here, some sort of aggressive push, it feels like they're always too slow in the response. Giuliano with the re-swing off Tara, it should be almost spontaneous with the slide coming out, but it's not. It's a good second late. And it just gives such a free opportunity for them to re-swing and trade.
I honestly, I think that's why Focus Mali. I think that's why Mali gets the team flash on the oil drone, because if you're looking at the oil drone to shoot it, you have to look at the curveball, and potentially going to be a big factor. The guiding light being sent through. This is the initiator play. This is the stunt. But again, Neon. She is a curse, and she is a clincher for it, but that movement means Tara's stuck all the way up there on her own. It is to save Giuliano, but unfortunately, the Sova Dart, the oil drone, is not going to get spotted out. She's having to try and get peeled out. Sumaruto manages to steal a frag away. Don't know how she's managed that, but damage still good here, and a Hunter's Fury online for Mali, as the smoke's just getting peppered. And Aura, one player all the way over towards that A site here. A 3-on-2 again, but this time to hold the site.
Slow freeze play here from Focus, cutting the sound, etching in a bit of paranoia from Aura here. But that Prowler's going to instantly give the plan away. Out comes the curveball, and Luxie has been completely revealed. She's going to have to go for a bit of a jiggle swing, and it's perfectly done. Aura survive in a 3-on-2, and that's their first round on the board.
A lot faster and a lot smoother than how Ascent started out, and I do say that, and people might listen to that, wonder what I am talking about, but that is fact of the matter. That looked a little bit more composed there from Aura, even if it was off the hero play from Luxie. It's enough to force the timeout from Focus so early on. That is a big deal potentially. Momentum Swift might be in the favor of Aura. And again, one round is all you need sometimes to get that momentum shifted. Again, it's not how you start Valorant. You can have 12 rounds, the cleanest Valorant you've ever played. If you don't get that 13th, it's kind of meaningless.
Yeah, agreed. I got a timeout here from Focus. I'm curious on what this is, really. I think they were a bit afraid of what Aura was doing. The coach is definitely thinking, hey, this is a little too close here. We can't be getting away with stuff like this. And it's a good idea for sure. And I think, honestly, I think Aura just individually made that a really good initiative. And I'm curious on how Focus are going to be adapting to this and what their idea will be with this. Because I feel like you've already been able to counteract Tara. I guess the bigger deal is, how do you completely minimize Tara's potential? And that is more of a question of what Aura are willing to invest and how much they're willing to risk playing with this Neon. Because that's the big question what we've had, is that even if it's a margin, there's no full bodies to go with Tara going into this, right?
This is gonna be fun.
So that's the question I got to raise with Aura is how willing are you to risk your life to play with this Neon? Because she can't get away with things on her own anymore.
Oh, no, she can't. And she has to play a little bit more stable, a little bit safer here. But
so
Samsy's
well
not
played.
going to play. She's not going to play safe at all. The sheer wall has been dealt with. The Neural Theft Online guarantees a free A site here. And I have to very quickly say, while the retake gets set up, Tara trying these aggressive plays, there's not going to be a chance for the retake to get set up. Star already in the defensive spawn, and Stralin on this lurk gets the timing for one, and it's just going to be a piece. One more. Tara cannot find the shot. Stralin makes it a flawless. Another strong part about Astra. She can put her utility from anywhere. She's essentially another Sentinel.
Focus are just really, really good at piling on more and more pressure the moment they get one little bit of advantage, right? They get that pick onto Samsy, and they were quick-witted with it. They immediately thought, hey, we see that wall being placed. Let's quickly double swing to burn the wall and take down Samsy before she can get away. And that very quick thinking opens up a massive hole in the defense of Aura. And then Focus just have Stralin just lurking around the back of mid the moment that pick's made, because they know that's going to be a quick panic rotation. It's really well thought out, even if it's just a bit of a micro adjustment. It's well done and extremely dominant in translation for Focus.
It's such solid map control as well. As soon as the aggression starts, you see Stralin really start to kick up the high gear herself. You see the repositions start to come through, and just it's a dominant showing of map control and presence. And I do have to give a heads up to Aura. I really have to give them more credit, because at those first couple rounds, right, they were really going for the aggressive plays with Tara. The set plays were there, but they never got the angle that Focus were actually at. They tried B main on the pistol round. Focus were nowhere to be seen. They tried doors on the second. Focus nowhere to be seen. And then whenever they did find Focus, it was usually 4 of them ready to gun down Sarah.
Yeah,
Tara,
for sure.
apologies.
I think Focus have also just been playing very well at doubling and tripling up. It's something we mentioned on the last map, and it's been the same deal. Whenever they do tend to split, they're never alone. They always got someone behind them, and that's one thing that we've seen Aura struggle with. But this time, they've made a very valiant attempt, but a bit of a misread here, as Focus have gone for 4 members up down from B long. And Aura now, with a risk unfortunately not paying off, they're going to be running down and facing a very relentless Focus, with the Astral Divide being thrown in as well. What on earth are you going to be able to do here?
Oh, potentially go for a shot through the smoke, but I will say Aura very calm, very composed, but potentially 2 calm. Samsi's able to sneak her way in with 1. Now the overdrive. Didn't get the value initially.
There's a big
Beautiful
stun!
turn on the curveball. Beautiful relay ball. Beautiful swing off the back of it. Samsi's able to get the damage down.
No
The spike
way.
carrier is dealt with. And Vilko has to watch an empty site unfold. 3 versus 1 with Spike in no woman's land. And a Nebula to swing through, a Galaxy to clear, and Samsi makes it 4. The literal thorn in Focus's side.
Tara with a fantastically placed relay bolt with that overdrive as well popped. No other ultimates invested. It's a dream round here for Aura. That one relay bolt plus the well-timed swing from Samsi made things so easy. Serving Focus like they're sushi on a platter. It's just easy in that specific scenario. You don't really get that many opportunities, but when Aura really do find that timing, they look unstoppable.
It was heartbreaking for them that they didn't get the timing on A main, but it's a hell of a recovery from them. And the Hunter's Fury just to deal with Samsi to get this Vise off of the B main angle. She does survive it all. She survives all this pressure. Cloudburst dash to get the Heaven control. Nightfall not going to find anyone. The Shear's already been dealt with. So the Spite now going to be easily controlled. Seekers being committed here from Aura. We're going to commit. We're adapting or dying. Star, though, keeps the Blade Storm online. Not going to be jammed at all.
There's no picks.
There's nothing yet. There's no Spike
what
to
are we
be
doing
planted.
here?
Star hears you. Star hears you, Shiva. She gets herself 1. But as long as the Spike now goes down, the ultimates are there. Tara with an operator as well, but no control.
There we go. Finally, Sumi Russo will take down Star. But this investment is making this round Aura's round to lose. They've done so much to commit onto this, and they've even used their 5th and final ult going to it. But it doesn't mean a thing. It's a nearly full wipe here for Focus. And I think for Aura, this just backfires horribly. You know, you're looking at this like it's a casual round on stream where he's just looking at all these ults. He's like, what the hell is going on? What is happening? But no one's moving to fight. No one's going in. They're just expecting Focus to play like they're desperate. But they're not. They're 5-2 up. They're 6-2 up now. Like, this was just poorly decided from Aura. And I think Focus had to respond equally, but they just had better things to deal. They had better utilization. They had far better space, and they had Star for free up on Heaven with the Blade Storm. It's just a terribly orchestrated round, and that's going to really sting, assuming they don't make up for it right now.
It's 1-on-1, and it's Giuliano actually having to do it because Tara's stuck on the back of Elbow there all the way towards that alley line, back towards the B main, being supported, of course, by Sumaruto on the screens, but Focus, they've already kind of done what they needed to do. They've got the initial engagement, they've got the initial trade, and this is the first pivot we are seeing in towards Art. So much of this map hasn't even actually been tested yet by Focus, and oh, the sheer wall has actually stolen too. But Samsi is the one to fall, the one that's going to be sacrificed, and an A site that looks pretty free for the taking. It's up to Focus to play this fast, and they're already looking towards main. They already feel there's a flank coming through, but that's now been cleared by Star. This angle on towards Art. Will Vilko swing off the camera, or is it just information here? The double swing ready. The relay ball is the information. 2 swing.
Oh,
Tara's good for 2. She makes it close.
What a well-timed swing there to back up her teammate. She may fall, but she's quick on the trade. That's the type of trading we want here from Aura. Being said, though, still a lot more to do. Job's not done. Star with this operator can make things very treacherous. Put up the smoke, and she's on guard for the stairs, but that trade strolling so quick on the transfer. It's Neon on Jet, it's Star on Tara. Both stars of their own right, but one's got the name tag. And the other one is a reference to a banger tune, but she's having the defuse anyway. It might be a banger round.
No,
Tara,
not
no
enough.
way.
Not
No,
enough.
it's not happening. 0.29. What a nail biter of a round that was. But sadly for Aura, they can't make it work.
A hell of a cloudburst from Star, by the way, on towards that market, on towards stall, to get the swing into Art, to try that operator shot onto the member of Aura. Not able to land it, but enough just to force it out there. And Stralin, such a clutch kill. That would have gone so differently had I believed it was Luxie gets that frag, but not going to be the case. And instead, Focus confidently put up the 7th. And Aura, they're fighting back. Finally, the set play. Finally, what they work towards. What this entire comp dreams of. And so far, it's all collapsing on them. Addy's got too much selection.
What am I watching?
Addy's got too many people in her sightline. Decision paralysis means she can't get the kill herself, but the rest of the team are there. And as everything falls silent, one more gun echoes as Mali gets the frag onto Luxie. The bomb can be traded to whoever needs to get an ult online, but it's not going to be the case. Mali just gets the plant, and Samsey, the only sheriff in town, gets the first awkward angle. That was the easy part, though. Now is the true testament, and there's no time on the board. Focus. Shiva, you bring it up. When they stay go, Focus do not stop until the round ends.
I mean, a sheriff won't survive when they're against 4 outlaws looking for a head, right? Not much else you could do aside from that. A valiant attempt from Sam C, but what much more can you do? 8-2 now for Focus. They're matching up the bark that they showed up on the start of Ascent before that big comeback. Let's see if Aura will be able to prevent or at least minimize this gap that Focus have built for themselves. 8-2, and they want it to be at 10 if they can help it. Inferior weaponry no more into this round as Aura got that full buy coming in. Not an ideal ult economy. I think that is going to be the big pain point that Aura have to face. And I'm surprised they're not fighting early into this. When you know that ult economy is so low, this is what you'd be doing.
They know this 6v5 is coming, but they're going to try and fight it. Luxie not pulling the trigger on the run it back. Good trigger discipline, but the gravitational well forces her into her own demise. And Samsey, stuck on 1 HP, does get cleared out by the utility. Of course, Stara of the show is going to show up for Aura here. Guts the frags to try and get her team back online, but Aura's been really struggling with these retakes. They've been so conditioned by Focus to worry about the flanks, worry about these extremities, that you're stuck. You're missing Sumarito onto this engage. Tara might not need her. Tara might not need anyone else. The overdrive online. Mali shuts it down. And the double swing a bit aggressive. And Stralin now stuck in her own. The Astra utility online. Fought solid shot. Solid first frag. The Astra versus Astra. Battle of the stars. The cosmos is going to shift for one of these teams. The Nebula protects Sumarito. The spray's not there. It's going to be stuck. It's going to be done. Aura steal it out from under Focus's noses, and Stralin at least gets the kill to try and console herself.
Well, no 10-2. We're not seeing a 10-2, Dante. It's going to be 8-3 at the very least. Well, it's not possible anymore. Gotta hope it's 10-3.
I'm saying not yet because we've got another map. It's possible.
Potentially. Oh, that's true. That's true.
I'm being optimistic. I believe in the comeback. Aura showed us glimpses in Ascent. I'm a believer in the underdog.
Well, they better win this next round, otherwise not. Well, they better lose this next round if you're hoping for 9-3, if you believe in that bad juju, but who knows at this point. I just wanted to mention, look at Mali's KD in this map so far. I believe I saw 18 and 4. Is that correct? Crazy ratio, if that's true.
We'll get to see it in a minute. It would not surprise me. She has been so instrumental in these executes and just the damage being done. And speaking of damage being done, the arc rose into the swing, but Focus are so prepped. They've seen that before. The Cosmic Divide goes down. Ults are use or lose now. So Mali basically has this Hunter's Fury to position wherever she wants. Stara, the mix of Star and Tara, go head to head. Tara walks away, so a good kill. But again, it's never the first kill. It's never the opener. It's the consistency. The concussion already set up to catch Tara unawares. That is a beautiful heads-up play. And Focus off the back of it decimate Aura's retake.
Dante, I think that will soon be stunned.
No, it wasn't.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
Can I be wrong? I have a feeling that was Sumi's stun. Can someone check the bot and let me know?
Oh no, if it is. I was giving Stralen all the heads up play. That would be heartbreaking if it was Sumi's. Someone, I guess, can check the VOD and either call me, well, wise for calling correctly or call me out deservedly on Twitter. I'll await the ats.
I saw the color of it and I had a feeling that was a nice light purple.
Oh no.
But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I hope so. Even just so I don't look silly, but I've spread misinformation on the internet
Either
before.
way,
I'll do it again.
Either way, I don't actually know. If someone can let me know, I'll take my words back if I'm wrong. But hey, look, anyway, look at this KD from Mali. I said 19 and 5. This is crazy. And let's hope they can keep this momentum into this new half if they really want to close it out. Sumirito quickly to grab first blood, but it's traded by 3 picks here of Focus. And it feels like as quick as Aura like to start it out, Focus will snuff it out even faster.
Fittingly enough as well, the human torch of Addy, the one to snuff out the flames and potentially hopes and dreams of Aura. Samsi's position known. The curveball play is just so cleanly set up here. It's a triple swing. It's an awkward triple swing. Had Samsi been able to get those shots lined up a little bit more, she could have potentially stolen something. But Focus on 10 with the economy to boot. Aura staring down the barrel of a gun, and this force shows that they know it.
Yeah, Aura know that massively on the back foot this time. No pistol round win. No potential comeback unless they can clutch it up here with even bigger odds stacked against them. Mali, 20 and 5 with that Guardian on hand. Addy as well, looking really solid. Halfway through her run it back as well. Oh my god.
It's kind of wild that Addy and Star can take a backseat and Mali can now just do this, by the way. Like, Mali was good on Ascent. She was not this. She is basically soloing. And speaking of soloing...
Oh, no.
Oh, it's... Potentially, though. Potentially, the flashes are a bit awkward. The stun, the smoke's a bit weird. Everyone's confused. The observers, the players, the casters. But when it all falls, when the dominoes are down, the chips are played, it's a very quiet showing. Meanwhile, though, Giuliano wanting to still make this show possible.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
This angle. The Guardian as well. And it will be enough.
No, Subi. So close.
So close.
Tragic. Well, even if there's a valiant attempt, sadly, just not enough. They got some damage done, but not enough to convert a thing. It's 11 to 3. Things are looking really dire here for Focus.
The buy at least 4 Aura is not awful. I mean, yeah, okay, it's not. It's obviously not the full gun stack, but double Guardian up. We've seen what that gun can do. It's just the case of if Focus are going to really slow down here because they seem warmed up, and the fact that their only call on defense thus far was let's play mid aggressively and it worked is something that Aura just couldn't find the same fortune in.
Focus, I mean, just... Oh, Strong getting quite overly zealous there. She's been caught. Bad, and that's a big piece of utility taken away. Even so, I mean, Addy, I just don't understand the audacity on this player. It's just crazy. She sees one of the teammates taking down. She's like, yeah, you know what? Let me just go out and grab one real quick.
Oh, the run it back for the heal.
Yeah,
oh, I haven't seen that in ages. I haven't seen that in years. That's a throwback and a half. It's a throw run it back. We'll see if it's enough. If Addy with the additional HP has now Focus. With all of this map control, with all this presence, they're kind of starting to pincer. Star with all this control up towards the angle. Luxie trying to get this clear, but 63 HP staring down an Outlaw. Even a Marshall would be painful. The Prowler's going to just be tanked. Star has to take the second one as well. Still a shot in the Outlaw. But she adapts. She adapts so fast. And Luxie, Luxie, where the spike has dropped.
That's the spike.
It's such an awkward angle. And now she's reloaded. She's got the Outlaw. She is not controlled. Not governed by the laws of man. Not governed by the laws of nature. Focus on match point.
She's just extraterrestrial, man. Suits the name quite well. I cannot believe she's getting away with this BS. What am I looking at, Star? Gosh. I know
it's not even Addy up at the top. It's Mali. They're trying to unseat Mali now.
I know we're desperate currently with Aura, right? We don't have the best weaponry, but we can't be letting Star get away with this. We can't.
We just cannot. And potentially, she only needs to get away with it one more time. No, Addy gets away with it already. Your Astra down! Your Astra's down on the solo controller. No Viper walls to save you. No snakes will bite. This is all calm and collected unless Tara makes a hero play. But Stralin shuts it down. Samsey stuck at the top of the attacker side spawn. Everything on the world and everyone asking her to do it.
What can you do? It's just Samsey now alone, with her team resting on her shoulders in such a dire situation. Is there any spark of hope left here?
I hope. You have to believe. You have to, if you have to believe. It's never over until it's over, but it's looking dire. Spike's still in that EMEA angle as well. Samsey's
just walking
basically
into it.
aiming into the
That's
sight
it.
of Stralin. And a 13-3, not the 13-9. No comeback potential here. And FOKUS Sakura remain undefeated to the grand finals as flawless run through the Cash Cup. That's a terrifying prospect to face.
They have been unbeatable in this tournament so far. They've looked close. Aura really pushed them on map 1, but map 2 was nothing but a brutal massacre in this match. Even so, respectable efforts from particularly Tara on this Neon. Again, Neon's been nerfed tremendously here, and still being able to do some magic going into it is seriously admirable, but only 3 rounds to come of it, whereas FOKUS dominate with a crazy lot of KDs. Most notably here, Mali, who's the map MVP, 22-7, 340 ACS. It is disgusting how strong KD that is.
It's scary as well because we do KD, we don't do KDA. You're running Initiator on Sova, you've probably got a fair few assists, and we've seen how those recon darts and shot darts were doing, so it's probably only higher when you look at the full KDA, and it was just a heartbreak for them. It really was just dominance on the Pearl here. Maybe an attempt at stealing something away, an attempt at finding a map that FOKUS would not be as comfortable on, but they just will have been. And I'm very quickly, actually, while we're talking about it, I've done a VOD review live on show. It was Sumiruto's stun.
No,
It was. Maybe someone else can double check. Maybe I'm learning that I'm colorblind to purple in real time, so we might be able to get it double checked, but it looks like it was Sumiruto's own stun when Tara did that swing, and that was a heartbreak for them on that round.
Man, that definitely could have been the swinging push. There was definitely good intent. You knew exactly what she was doing. It was just placed and timed just off. Even so, that's one of many rounds Aura had a chance of winning, and sadly, FOKUS just simply no mercy in this series. We saw them slip slightly on the Ascent, but on the Pearl, despite it being Aura's pick, they made it look like they owned the whole battlefield. And that's going to be their advancement into the grand finals with a very dominant record of being untouched in map, let alone series record. And they're going to be up to face the grand finals now.
It's a big, big prospect, and we should be finding ourselves very, very excited here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, unfortunately, we didn't get to go to map 3. It does mean the series, and we do have to say goodbye, but it was an absolute pleasure of a series. Both teams, phenomenal stuff. FOKUS, congratulations on a flawless run to grand finals. Aura, commiserations for getting this far. Of course, shout out to the production, everyone that makes us look and sound as beautiful. Couldn't be done without you guys and you watching at home. And finally, Shiba, I guess I have a big thank you to you for joining me, because it was a hell of a debut for us too, to finally get to share the desk together. And I hope we do get to do it more. Please tune back in tomorrow, same time, of course, for the grand finals. Until then, stay safe. You're very loved. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.